everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. So I'm Anchorhaven, and this is the Mystical Wellness Channel. It is the 19th of August, 2026. Just time stamping that. I have a fantastic guest today, who is Michael Kopf, who is a SSP experiencer, an author, a holistic healer. I can't remember what else. Introduce yourself, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing well, and you were doing so well. Why'd you cut it short now?
Yeah, because I
Um,
haven't got anything in front of me because I was just running around. Yeah,
I
but yeah.
am I am well. Let me start over because it's like I want to make sure I don't skip anything myself. Is I am a Reiki healer. I do timeline therapy. I have done other metaphysical healing modalities. I am a podcast host, author, experiencer, and SSP. And so, yeah, I think that about covers, I think, everything.
That's great. So just getting the chat open. Terry B, where have you been? I've not seen you for so long. I hope you're well. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I do have a request about something. Oh, Heidi's in the chat. Heidi Pop. All right, thanks, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, we went to the last year's show. Was it a couple of weeks ago on your channel?
Uh, I think it was last month, yeah.
Yeah, okay. What's this timeline therapy? Tell us a bit about that.
So timeline therapy it's a healing modality to where if you have a program in your life that no longer serves you and it keeps showing up in your life, it's a modality to heal that. And so an example would be, let's say I have a modality program of, so I get into a relationship and 3 weeks into it, I start going, nope, this isn't it any. I'm not feeling this. This isn't the right relationship. So I break it off.
Hmm.
Well, so what I do is I put myself in a trance state, or someone puts me in a trance state, and we go back to where in our current life or past life where it was determined 3 weeks was where you decide if a relationship is going to work or not. And then what we do is so let's say, okay, we found it in 1700. So you're visualizing yourself 1700 and you go ahead of the event, in other words, backwards in time to before the incident to see what led to this decision, this program. And it could be she broke it off with me over something her dad said. Well, I didn't know it was something that her dad said because in the scenario, I just see she broke it off with me. So then I go into the incident now where she breaks it off with me with the understanding, oh, this is pressure from her family, her dad. And so then I look at, okay, so what other, positives came of this? What other aspects, what else is going on? Then we look to the future a little bit and look there as well to go, oh, well, it could turn out that she ended up, being on the wrong side of a deal and her family was arrested and tried for a political crime, let's say.
Hmm.
Well, now I'm not attached to that. So
Hmm.
I could say a positive is I didn't get dragged into the political issue. Well, so we then go into the moment and we lock in all the positives that we now know about this and rewrite the program of it's not essential, but we need to look at the whole and not just the situation. And then you come forward and you can see as you're coming forward back into this life the ripple of how this is altering the timeline and it's altering
Mm.
all your past. And so, what you may find is the next relationship I have, I may go 4 or 5 weeks before I had that program kick in of, oh, maybe this is time to break it off. And it doesn't mean it didn't work. It
Mm.
just means, okay, so there's a different program embedded somewhere. So you're constantly looking for the root event and reviewing that event to alter who you are today without altering the timeline.
So have you tried that with SSP memories and scenarios?
I haven't actually.
Because when I had the therapy recently with Virginia Casella, the RTT, rapid transformational hypnotherapy, we were looking at weight loss, but the memories that came forward were age 14 and 17 in the programs. And it was linked back, me gaining weight at different times of my life was linked back into events that I had in the programs where I was either doing something that I didn't want to do. So I thought if I wasn't perfect, I wouldn't need to do it, or they were putting me in a situation where I had to be desirable, and I wanted to make myself as undesirable as possible, which sounds like a honeypot situation, to be honest. And when we revisited that age 14 memory, it was very abusive, and there was the feeling of if I'm not perfect, then they won't take me. It was a bit like that. So yeah, so even something as simple in the here and now as like, oh, she must have a weight problem, just went back to a safety problem that was multidimensional in these programs. So yeah, so it's quite interesting to think about how you could apply that to your SSP stuff.
It is, and there is, also the effect of, you know, we think about it in terms of, oh, relationships, yeah. Oh, okay, or, this or that. But what we don't realize is everyday life, multiple situations arise where this could benefit you looking at this. And it's like we only want to look at it like relationship, money, work. It's like we're like, okay, those are the main things. Well, yes, they're the main things, but the program may be hiding in family issue and or a friend. And so when you look at the lesser, you sometimes will find the bigger.
Yeah, I can totally relate because it's like doing the hypnotherapy for me impacted a lot in my timeline straight away. It was mad. It really was. It's made me review lots of different things. And so, welcome everybody in the chat. We were just talking about timeline therapy healing. And so I do have, if one of my friends comes in the chat, they want to talk about X-Men, wait and see when they come in, because we've made some interesting, so I want everybody in the chat to think about if they were a superhero, especially an X-Men, who would they be? And then we'll talk about it if they do come in the chat. And if not, we'll do it towards the end of the show. So it's quite
It's
interesting. I've been exploring that lately a lot. Yeah.
it's interesting you say that because I had Google tagged me in a notification that they have just announced a new character to the
Ah,
X-Men franchise and the new movies that are coming. And I was like, why am I getting this? I, I
okay.
I haven't thought about the X-Men or seen the X-Men in a long time, and it's
Yeah.
funny that you're bringing it up.
Yeah. Because I'm working on the disclosure theme that all the movies, the comics, everything are basically taking it from our testimonies, working with that kind of narrative. When you look at everybody around you and place them as a character, it's quite eye-opening, right? So
I
it's a
know
bit of
my
it's a bit of a
character.
game. Who's your character? Have we spoken about this?
We haven't, but I know who I think I would be,
Yeah.
but I know everybody. I feel
Hmm.
like they put me as a different character, not the
Okay.
one that I'm thinking.
Who do you resonate as?
I would say the character I resonate and I feel the closest kin to Gambit.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, because I know somebody else who also thinks they're Gambit. That's very interesting. So, who do you think they'd place you as then when you see?
Well, some people will because I have a werewolf altar. They're like, "Oh, you're Wolverine,"
Okay, yeah,
the
yeah.
"Oh, you're I almost want to say Cyclops, but I don't think so. I
Okay.
think that's my mind like just imagining what they're thinking. But I'm curious, where did you think I landed in the
Honestly,
X-Men
I've not
verse?
thought about it at all. I really haven't. But I'm gonna have to think about that one now. So, but for me, because a couple of maybe in June it was a friend of mine said, "Have you thought about this particular character?" And I was like, Who are you talking about?" And it was Moira McTaggart. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah,
yeah, from Days of Future Past, Moira McTaggart. So she's like, she is science based, but she's agency, but she's got this relationship with Charles Xavier. So I was going down to bases actually. So I started to research Moira McTaggart, who's also called Moira X, right? Like Charles Xavier, Professor X. So in some timelines, she is like creating the center for the children. In other timelines, she gets him to create an army and things like that. So her ability is the fact that she can reincarnate with all her memories on the same timeline. That's her actual ability. And then I started to think about one when you look at the what's her name? Oh, here it is, John. Okay, so so John went back to the chat. We've only just started talking about X-Men because I was waiting for John Whitford to get here. So we're talking about. Oh, he says I'll be available in 30 minutes. Oh, fuck. Okay, well we'll definitely still be talking about things. So oh, Terry B likes Storm. Now we haven't identified anybody who's Storm, but if you have a look at Moira McTaggart, the actress that played her in the movies, you'll start to
yeah,
notice now that it does look like me. It's weird. And so she's got this ability. So my main ability is prophecy, and but you don't really see. You're not going to see me do prophecy. You see me do card readings where I weave together the highest timeline and stuff. But it was Aralam who said that prophecy is like my highest ability. So when you think of Moira McTaggart and that she can basically live through everything, she's scanning timelines, so she's making different choices every time to try and get to that highest outcome. So yeah, Moira X is definitely something that I potentially resonate with now as an X-Men because I didn't really think I was an X-Men before. I mean, obviously there's the Phoenix energy, the Phoenix Force, and I have been seen with like that kind of explosive kind of fire energy, but I wouldn't say I was Jean Grey. I wouldn't say I was the Phoenix. But
yeah.
there's a Phoenix Force who's like a group of people who can embody that Phoenix kind of entity in a way. Yeah, so quite interesting. So when John comes back in 30 minutes, we can talk properly about X-Men because he's got some good insights about people as well. So it's like a game that we have.
Yeah, well,
So yeah.
I'll share with you real quick. The reason why I say Gambit is the
Mm.
one that I resonate to is one is the psionics.
Yeah.
Two is the attitude. It's like I was telling you on the phone, I have this cocky
Mm.
attitude somewhat.
Mm.
And three, I love to play cards. I
Ah,
love card games, so I it would be like no problem for me to have a deck of cards on me that I could charge up.
breakaway cards.
And I
Oh, you got the breakaway? Snap! I've got my breakaway. Oh, you see,
and
the new deck is behind me now. You can see the new deck is the orange deck. This one. Yeah,
yeah,
galactic assignments. Yeah.
I've ordered my copy.
Yep, perfect. Thank you. I sold 5 copies so far. So I'm getting to that point where I can do the order. I've actually designed all 53 cards, so there's one information card in this deck. And I'm just doing the final quality edits on it now so I can send it away for sample print this week. Sample print could take 7 to 10 days. That's the only drama because they've got to try and fit it in to the print run. But hopefully when I get back, I'm going away next week. So when I get back, hopefully I'll have my sample, can make any minor
Yeah.
edits, and then send it straight for print fully.
Mon
Yeah,
Cherie.
it's exciting. Hmm.
It, Mon Cherie.
Pardon?
Oh, it's French, like
Oh,
Gambit. That's the
okay.
other thing is I know a little bit of French, even though I never really took French.
Ah, parlez-vous français? No, wait, un peu.
Un
We do
peu.
French at school. Yeah, we do French at school. But when you go to France, you try to speak in French as a foreigner, they reply in your language.
Yep.
It's very annoying. So yeah, I'm actually going to Brussels. I'm going to Belgium for 2 days, and I'm going to Germany for 2 days next week. So yeah, I'm excited about that. It's my nephew's wedding. So just me and my son are going out, and then my sister and her husband and everyone are coming like a few days after us. So I thought I'm spending all that money to get there, and my sister's supporting me with it as well. But I want to spend a few extra nights traveling. I don't want to go there just for 2 days in Germany. It's it doesn't make sense, does it? So that's going to be good. So it'll be very less podcasting next week for me. It'll just be randomly live streaming from beautiful places. I hope that's my plan. And yeah, tell us a bit about your books. Did you bring your books with you?
I did actually. So I have all five.
5 books now. Wow, amazing.
I have 5 books now and 3 in the works.
Oh, really? So
So,
when did you make your very first one?
well, my very first one actually, so it's a funny story of everybody told me I should write a book when I was growing up. And I always was like in my mind, I would go, nobody'd read a book about me, so let not gonna waste my time writing it. So I
Yeah.
put it off. And I was talking to a guest on one of my shows that recently wrote a book, and we were off air, and I said, yeah, everybody tells me I should write a book, but I just don't think anyone's gonna read it, and I don't want to dig up all the emotions and everything that I've worked so hard to let go of.
Mm,
And he goes, actually, writing is very cathartic. You're not going to bring up emotions like you would think, and there's a lot of release that comes from it. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I sat down and started typing. And I was like, okay, so here's different aspects of my life. Okay, well, let's start, talking about the different aspects. So I came up with the book that was like 13 to 18 chapters. And I looked at it and I was like, well, if somebody doesn't want to read about the paranormal, I'm forcing them to read about it because it's in this book. And that's not really fair. And so I was like, well, what do I do? What if they don't want to read this? What if they don't want to know this? And what? And so I started getting mental, and so I stepped away from it with guidance. And the following year, which ended up being 2025, another friend was working on her book, and I said, "Oh yeah, I had that book." And I looked at it and I was like, this paranormal chapter is like 50 some pages. I'm like, that's a book unto itself. Why don't we just pull this out and make this a book? And then I was like, oh, my SSP side. Let's just pull that out, make it a book. Oh, the metaphysics. Let's just make that a book. And what was left is, well, this is my life. Well, let's just condense it down to a book. And so I started doing, I turned it one book into 4 books. And as I'm working on it, a friend of mine, um, I'm sure you all know, Selena Ingles, reached out to me and was like, hey, I see you're working on a book. Do you have an illustrator or, an editor or, need help with the cover? And I was like, absolutely. And I told her what I was doing, and she's like, well, let me toy around with it if you want. And so I was like, okay. And I would send her an idea of what I wanted the cover to look like. And she actually hand drew the cover for the book. And I was like, that's really cool, actually. And so she became my illustrator, and we were working together. And she's like, well, I need a title for the book because I need to know how to lay this out. And I'm like, I don't know what to call it. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, that's like, I don't have a title. It's, this is my paranormal life. This is my it's, what title? And she actually spent a little bit of time and came back to me and goes, what about the awakening? And I was like, ooh, I like that. So the title of the series actually comes from Selena.
That's very cool. She's very talented. I did send her a chapter of a book that I was working on at the time, which was a Violet Flame handbook. But we never got any further with it because she had so much going on, and then I drifted away. And then I moved into the Breakaway series anyway. So I still plan on doing some Violet Flame resources. I'm halfway through a Violet Flame sigil Oracle card deck. Just a little tiny. Also, I do this. It's going to be a small one, easy to shuffle, easy to carry with you. So I'm hoping to get that published this month as well, if I get time on it. Maybe it'll probably be next month now. And that'll be something for my students to be able to use as well, and be able to use as like an altar. And there'll be, I'm not sure I'm going to do a book with it though. I want to just leave it open to interpretation in a way, because the book is the hardest part of making the oracle card stuff. The
It
cards,
is,
yeah, the book is literally the hardest part because I'm not a traditional author. I mean, John is, but I'm not. And yeah, it's quite tricky. So yeah, it's amazing that you've done so many books. Yeah.
yeah. And I actually have an idea, talking about the X-Men
Mm.
factor, when we get to it, making that a deck. And so
Oh, that
that
would
you
be
can
cool. You
draw
you get hit so much copyright
each.
though, wouldn't you?
Well,
But something similar, maybe a psionics deck, yeah, or an abilities
You
deck,
can make it the X-Men deck, but you
yeah.
just wouldn't call it X-Men, and like you
Yeah.
couldn't say Gambit. You would
Well,
have to
it's
rename.
thing is though, like galactic assignments, this is all roles and responsibilities. So even though it's not all psionics, but there are different aspects of things that we would do in the programs. Yes, and some of the jobs are very mundane, but others are not, obviously. But it goes into like program. So every faction has basically got these people working within it. Then that this is how it runs. So we've got 53 cards there. Some of them are actual
Yeah,
assignments, and some of them are roles. So it's very interesting. There's not anything that's like super fantastic in there, as in like Cyclops, or there's nothing like that. It's quite
no,
practical. It's very grounded.
no,
So you,
but
you might have been a
yeah,
coordinator, or you might have been a weapons technician, or research and development, or a geneticist. That kind of thing. It's all in there. It's like real world roles that they have in the programs, yeah, that we have seen out there, that kind of thing. So
yeah. But what I was gonna say with it though, to make
mm,
it different, would be is to say like if for the imagery of Gambit. I know we're not gonna call him Gambit, but
yeah.
you're like, hey, Michael, this is more your guy. What's the write up? And like I get to choose
Oh,
like what
what if we made it
abilities.
our actual altars?
Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
mean.
I
It's
see. So
our
there'd be,
abilities,
oh,
our
okay. Oh,
the
I get
and
it.
then make a deck of us.
Yeah, that would be really neat, actually. Because there's people who've written like books about collective super soldiers and stuff. So yeah, what if? Oh, that's an interesting concept. It's an interesting concept. I'll have to think
Yeah.
about it. Wizard
And
Wickers is saying Dr. Manhattan. Now, I never remember who he's talking about when he talks about Dr. Manhattan. Are you familiar with that character?
Dr. Manhattan, if I remember correctly, is the giant blue glowing guy that's like has black eyes, if I remember right, and is pretty much the one that like if he was to flick you, you would melt into like pure air. There would be nothing, there would be like no mark of you even against a wall. It's like you would
Yeah.
just vaporize.
Wow. So it's a DC character. I must admit, I
Yes.
don't know that many DC characters. I really don't. So I'm getting into, I need to get back into comic book phase now, because it probably stopped when I was buying Ghostbuster comics. I think it
Yeah, you
stopped
can't go
around
wrong
age
with those.
15. Yeah, Thundercats comics, it stopped there for me. I never really got into the Marvel and all that too much. But yeah, I see Dr. Manhattan looks from Watchmen. Oh yeah, I remember Watchmen. Okay, okay. Yeah, getting a better
Yeah,
idea. Yeah, interesting.
he was the
Yeah,
moody one, if I remember right.
yeah. I'm making notes all the time at the moment, because even though my mind is a lot more activated than it was, because I'm not mind wiping myself as much right now without the Pepsi. So I'm getting very creative threads are coming in, and if I don't document it now, I don't know how long I'm going to have access. So I'm working with crystal skulls at the moment as well. So I'm getting like really like over energized at times. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
just make some notes.
I came across a crystal skull in my 20s, and it kind of, in a way,
Mm,
freaked me out, but
mm.
it was
Why?
really cool.
What
Well,
happened?
because the I mean, there's this crystal skull sitting on this table, and you're told you just go in there, it'll be dark, and you just sit there and stare at this skull. And so I'm
Mm,
like, well, what? Is the skull gonna rise up? You know, it's like my mind is like, what is this skull gonna do? What's gonna
yeah,
happen? What am I looking for? You know, how do I know
yeah.
what's going on? And the next thing I know is it's like I look eye socket to eye socket, and it's like the entire room goes into a
Mm,
quick spin, and I'm like,
wow.
oh, now I'm somewhere else and
Oh.
experiencing something, and then I'm like brought back, and they're like, okay, time's up. And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
what?
That's very powerful. That's
Yeah, and
mega. So
that's why I
I've
say,
got this skull here. One of the Sonic League skulls are here because they left it behind. Suitcase got stuck in a taxi and all that kind of drama. So I've got the skull with me because I thought, you know what, I'm not going to leave it in the suitcase at bases. I'm going to bring the skull home with me. So, and I didn't really get it out until yesterday. And then I thought, I'm going to go forehead to forehead with the skull. I'm going to do the infinity like skull activation. And it wasn't, not, it was like super fast energy, like between me and the skull. Like I've never experienced it like that before. Normally it's like a slow swirl of energy between my skull to their skull. This was something else. It was like speedy, like 60 miles an hour
yeah,
kind of speed with this skull. And when I said to it, oh, we've been calling you Barry because you look like a barracuda. Is that okay to call you Barry? A very clear no. Does not want to be called Barry. And I said, well, what should I call you? What energy do you embody? And I got Amun Ra. So I was like, oh shit. So they've got like King of the Pharaohs right here, channeling Ra, the sun god, and all that. And I'm Ra lineage, so it doesn't bother me. But it was just like, oh, Amun Ra, like King of Pharaohs. So okay, Amun, yeah. So yeah, we'll see. So I've been working with it for the last day or so, and I did have a massive breakthrough yesterday. It's very powerful energy. I've only got it for 2 weeks, and it should be making its way back to the Alien event in America to get back to Isha and Sean. So we'll see what I can get from
yeah.
it. Yeah.
No, that's really cool, and glad that it's with you because you're
Mm.
gonna definitely keep it safe and everything. Where
Yeah.
other people may just sit there and be like, oh, it's just this, and leave it in a suitcase, and it's
Yeah.
like
Well, I
not
did
meant
leave
to
it in
be
the
that
suitcase
way.
for a month because I really thought I'm not too sure if I want to connect with it or not. I've got a lot going on, and so I've been a real roller coaster of energies and emotions this last month. I started to have memories and alters and things activating, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to get it out because Isha messaged me, and I thought I'm going to get it out. I'm going to work with this skull. And it's ancient, right? It's carved. It's from Mexico and all that. And it's like, even I talk about it's trying to telepath with me right now, and it's heavy. When it makes that connection, it's like a heavy weight on the head. So I did 90 minutes with it yesterday, meditation, but I got a lot through, and I voice recorded myself. There was a lot that came through. So normally when I work with skulls, I work with my dragon, which is behind me, you can't see. I work with the dragon skulls, but I've never really done like an intense 90-minute session working with one skull before. So they've all got energy to share with you. But this one is
Yeah.
interesting because it's very, very amplified and it weighs 7 pounds. It's like half a stone. So I had that laying on my body for 90 minutes. Right? It was like
Yeah.
laying down my body. And because it's got a point at one end and then the skull face at the other end, it was like sending healing up and down my body. So it's very interesting. Oh, John Whitberg is back in the chat now.
So
So
yeah, and the skull that I met was one of the siblings of Max. And so
hmm,
they're the ones that look like skulls, but there's no cut marks on them. And so that's the mystery behind those is they're
hmm,
not the elongated head ones.
hmm.
They're the regular looking ones, but they're still pack quite a wow.
So I'm just John Whitberg's in the chat, so please guys do go follow at the John Whitberg. John is my collaborator for the Breakaway Oracle deck. So we've been working on this together, and we're working on the second deck, which we've almost finished. So and he was saying, has he missed the X-Men chat? I'm saying no. Well, Michael Kopf thinks that he's Gambit, and John is saying, but I'm Gambit. So you guys can have a fight off for Gambit. Nobody wants to fight with me for my characters. My characters are just awful. So yeah, you guys get the cool ones. So do we think John Whitberg is Gambit? He feels he could be, yeah. So is there
Well,
anybody? Oh, this is what John. This is what you've missed. Michael was suggesting that we create an Oracle deck that is about our alters as basically X-Men, and it's quite a cool idea. I really like that idea. I've wrote it down. To think about how we could do that, embodying our
yeah.
powers. Yeah, because not everybody is
So
aware of all their powers, though. Mm.
I can tell you if John really wants to be Gambit, I can be Nightcrawler because I can
Yeah.
appear and disappear in a
Mm.
flash just like Nightcrawler.
Yeah. There
Great
was
distances.
there was somebody the other day that I associated with Nightcrawler. I can't think who it is now. Maybe John will pop it in the chat. So why can't mutants share the same powers? They can share the same powers, but they do seem to be really unique. But they can't all be just one Magneto, and you know what I mean. There must be other like
Yeah.
pyros and things. Yeah.
Well, I
Um.
mean, actually, one of the characters that's one of the lesser known characters, I think, in the X-Men series got the best boost to his career image
mm,
was Quicksilver.
yeah, Quicksilver is awesome. But well, if you get into One Division now, John's not seen One Division yet, or the new, the other Vision that's coming out. I don't know what it's called, Vision Quest or whatever. So potentially One Division. So Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, that is supposed to be one of my alters, right?
Yeah.
And then she's got a brother who is potentially somebody that I know, but I can't say who that is yet, unless John says it's okay. But it's somebody that I'm connected to in another program. So that was interesting because I've seen somebody like with that same kind of speed ability. I've seen them, but I haven't spoken to them about it yet. So
Yeah.
Wizard Wickus is saying that he resonates as Professor X, but John is also saying that his most powerful alter is like a combination of Gambit and Professor X. So, ooh, yeah.
So here's an interesting thought to put out there. We are hybrids,
Mm.
so why can't our characters be hybrids?
Of course, because we literally embody God powers anyway. So it's like we're not all just one. Although John is in the programs as Sobek, the crocodile god. I'm an Egyptian god that's not even in the books. So I'm Alane Ra, and she was just an ethereal being that used to go around influencing people's minds and making them do things. That could have been good, maybe,
Yeah. I
maybe
mean,
not.
I'm
So,
I'm a son of Isis, so
mm.
go figure.
Yeah, so we all have a bit of everything, I think. So it's going to come back to where do these powers come from? So are they made in a lab or are they God powers? Yeah.
I don't know that I
Um,
would call them god powers, but
so where do they come from?
they
Mm,
they're just natural born abilities, I guess.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I I'm thinking in my head if we call them god powers, some people may get it into their head, and you know, it's like that's not what we're intending. This is meant to be fun and
Mm,
revealing at the same time, but not a
yeah.
yeah, I'm a god
So you
versus
do you know
normal.
do you know my friend Helena who's in Belgium? She's a psychic. Do you know a few shows with her? She channels the Asani and things like that. Well, she's been to another basically universe where everybody has superpowers. Like, and that's just their normal reality. Is everybody's super. Yeah. So when you think about like the Incredibles movie, that cartoon, when they've got like they've got the supers there, and then they have to try and pretend that they're not super. That's the
Yeah.
reality that we're in, I think, isn't it? When we're trying to suppress the superpowers, so I'm having the Pepsi Max. They're dulling our senses with the Matrix and programming and stuff. And yeah, so John is saying they make them unique for the fictional universe. But and he's saying Carol Danvers is a Kree hybrid in the comics, isn't she? Yes. So Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. I have an aspect of me that I call Erica Soul, and she looks just like Captain Marvel. And she's presented
Wait,
herself to me.
isn't Kara Danvers Supergirl?
No, Carol Danvers is the Captain Marvel. What's Supergirl called?
Because I'm like, the name Danvers, I feel like is the adoptive family of Kara L or Supergirl, and
Yeah,
so
Kara Zor-El. What was her name? Oh, she's Linda Danvers.
there it is.
Oh, that's interesting. Hmm.
I knew the Danvers was there.
Yeah, but one's DC and one's Marvel, right?
Yeah.
So that's just a coincidence, unless Danvers is in relation to a real person with real abilities. The Danvers family are like a real lineage.
Well,
Um,
and if you look at their stories, they're virtually the same
mm,
person. Kara is the cousin to Kal-El, Superman,
yeah,
and Captain Marvel is a being that came into Earth on a ship and decided, yeah, I'm gonna help humanity instead of destroying humanity.
that the original comic book story, because the movie is not like that. In the movie, she's a regular person. She gets hit with like a tesseract blast, and then they take her off planet, and then they make her a Kree hybrid, swap out her blood, and they train her, and they memory wipe her. Right, so she forgets she's human.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The problem with the origin stories is everybody does their own depending on the comic book that they're writing. And so it's kind of like, would we ever really know their true origin story? Because, like, even Superman has like three or four origin stories, and
Yeah.
it's like they're virtually the same, but there's differences, and it's like, so which one's the right one?
Hmm.
I don't know.
So
Uh,
if you have lineage that you believe is linked into like Superman family, have you done much research into kryptonite and that kind of thing? Do
I have actually.
you want to share with us?
So being, and I stumbled on this with my talking
Hmm.
with my twin is because she likes to reference me as Mike L. She's like, "You got the L in your name," and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Yeah." And she's like, "You know where that's from?" I'm like, "I know. There's Jarrell, there's Kalel, there's all these different L's." And the one thing I noticed when I would be like talking and when I would be like feeling like the L factor, if as I call it, my language is all about hope. It's like it
Hmm.
literally is hope. And when I was watching Superman, I think it was Superman Returns, where he's saying, or no, it was Man of Steel, where she goes, "You're Superman, that's S." And he goes, no, this is the symbol of hope
Mm.
on my world. I was like, I had a tear roll down my eye because I was like,
Oh, wow.
it is what that means. It is L is stands for hope.
Mm.
And so, and then I realized, I went back and started thinking of all the conversations I had. And I was like, whenever I would give my last remarks, it was always something around the lines of always look around the corner because there's always hope.
Mm.
Never give up on hope. And I was like, why do I always talk about hope? And then I realized it's because I'm House of L. And there are, the reactions to certain elements that where I get around one element and my ability to hear is like intensified to the point where it's like I get headaches because
Wow.
it's like
What is that?
everybody is screaming in my head. And well, I know what they are, but I don't really want to say because if
Oh,
somebody wanted to
you don't
mess
want to
with
tell us your
me,
kryptonite?
yeah, so to speak,
My
it's
kryptonite is
like,
Pepsi Max. Everybody knows what my kryptonite is.
well,
So,
mine
oh,
actually are a little bit different of like there actually is there are a couple of elements that literally would shut my body down
yeah.
and I can't turn it back on. And if I'm around this element too long, it doesn't matter if it disappears, it's too late. And so
Hmm.
I got to be careful going around. But
Hmm.
I will say though, in the Superman lore with the different colors, kryptonites and what they do to them, some of it is true, but some of it I think is just great literature.
Jerry's just put in the chat Pepsonite. That's my kryptonite is Pepsonite. It really is, guys.
Yeah.
There's too many Pepsi contracts. Today I've been trying to recode them and cancel them out and be like, Pepsi lied to me.
Yeah.
Things like
I
that.
will
Mm.
say
Mm.
I do have one human kryptonite
Oh.
that is most unique, and I've kind of shared it when I'm at like conference or at events. I kind of hint at it, but
Mm.
so if you go and you see like people smoking and I'll be out there but I'm like far from, that's because
Oh,
that smoke is my kryptonite.
right.
If
See,
I
I don't
get
smoke. I've never smoked. I used to think I had asthma, but I don't think I have anymore. I think it was just an acid imbalance that was making me unable to breathe. And
oh
that's interesting.
I cannot breathe cigarette smoke and I actually have built up a 1 hour resistance to cigarette
Hmm.
smoke before it starts affecting me being around it.
Yeah. So they're talking in the chat about X-Men. So Storm. Is there anybody that you think you may have identified as Storm? I don't think Storm is black. I think Storm is white. But I don't know who it could be in our community. Storm. Who's got that
Well,
kind of elemental power? I mean, I'm very connected to the elements I am, but I wouldn't consider myself to be Storm.
I wouldn't consider myself Storm either, but if I get emotionally overloaded, like let's say sad,
Mm.
and I have no outlet for it,
Yeah.
thunderstorms will start to appear outside.
Right. Like
And
in
they're
Men
like,
in Black in the movie, was it Men in Black 2 or Men in Black 1? When he says to her, it rains when you're sad, and she said, well, everybody
yeah,
cries when it rains, and he says, no, it rains because you're sad, because she's from
yeah,
Venus or somewhere. Yeah. So,
yeah. But yeah, I've always had that of if my emotions get too bottled up and need an outlet, that I'll notice the weather changes and I can release that way. So in that aspect, I am kind of like Storm, but it's not my forefront. Like I can't snap my fingers and make a
Hmm.
tornado appear.
Do you think maybe you're more like Thor?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So in the
I'm
breakaway,
actually
in the new
descendant of
breakaway, I get
Thor.
very Norse in this deck. There's Norse cards in this deck because the breakaway of all Germans are still very Norse. So yes, I've incorporated that into this deck. The healing cards have got like a Norse theme, which I'm very
So
excited about. Yeah.
fun fact for you, Anchorhaven. One of my great grandfathers is Thor.
Really?
Really?
Wow. Explain.
It's I was taking my sister's ancestry chart and I was filling in blanks that I knew from history and was running it back and all of a sudden I hit Thor married to Sif and I'm like, yeah, right. And it goes, well, the dad is Woden who's married to Frey. I'm like, get out. And I'm
Did
like,
you
no
get this
way.
ancestry done? That's so cool. It traces you all the way back.
Oh, I traced my dad's side all the way back to creation.
Yeah. See, I do.
But my
I
mom's
resonate
side,
as
not so
Lady
much.
Sif. I think I could see myself as Lady Sif. I could, but I also see myself as Hela, the Norse god of the underworld. So that's
Yeah.
like my balanced light versus dark bliss energy. I keep it in Helheim. So oh,
So
shouldn't have said
I I
that.
went I went on a visualization to see, when my soul was created to kind of in this ceremony we were trying to decide which god path we wanted to follow
Yeah.
in faith, for this study. And I went in and I saw this crystallized like stand and sitting on it was a kid and I was like, God, this is so reminiscent of Superman in the movies in the 70s where they show him sitting on the lighted up pedestal. I was
Wow.
like, it's kind of what it looked like, except it was made out of crystal and it was all lit
Mm,
up. And
mm,
I'm like, there I am. And then I got massive confusion for a second because standing over me, holding their heart and holding hands, was Thor and Isis.
wow, that's
And I
awesome.
was like, wait, Egypt and the Norse mixing. Wait, what? And
Yeah.
I was like, literally, I was born a hybrid before
Mm,
hybrids probably were a thing.
yeah. So John was saying in the chat that he thinks his twin could be the White Queen, who's Emma Frost, like the diamondy type one.
Yeah.
But would that mean, John, that you were Scott Summers, Cyclops? What do you think? Interesting.
Actually, there is one X-Men who I think is kind of like one of the main voices, but they write him out so fast, and he's one of those chaotic energies.
Hmm.
And it's Summer's brother, Havoc.
No, Havoc. Let me have a look at Havoc. Uh, uh, yeah, who do we think is the Beast as well? That blue, wild,
Oh,
diplomatic
who
energy.
would be Beast?
Hmm. I think
Because,
it's a very
dude,
cool character.
yeah, Beast is like super educated, but also tamed his wild side and lets it out when it has to.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to determine who that one would be.
Mm.
But
Do you like the actor who plays Beast in the movies? I was a little bit disappointed actually.
yeah, because I feel like he's a little too like moody.
Yeah,
It's like he doesn't come off as smart. It's more like he's like
posh. It's like
it's
me. I sound smart, but I'm not. I'm just posh. So,
no, with
yeah.
him, it's like I look at him and I'm like, you're supposed to be super intellectual and in control and everything. And I get this is like supposed to be the beginnings and everything, but you're a teacher. And it's like every time he's on screen, it's like you look at him and you're like, dude, one flick and you are going to just fall on the ground and like go into panic. That's not Beast.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was having a look at Havoc, and he's an interesting character in the movies because he's giving off like plasma blades or something, isn't he? Like spinning
Yeah.
plasma blades. What would you call that? So I don't
Well,
know.
he's supposed to be earthquakes.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Hmm. So I've released plasma ball from my chest, from my heart. I've not seen it as, I mean, plasma sword, but I've not seen anything like plasma blades just like firing out of your body. You,
Actually, you would be a good Psylocke.
Psylocke. Hold on. Refreshing. One moment. Please don't give me anything really weird. Oh, like a cyclops. Who's
No.
Psylocke?
Psylocke,
Oh,
Psylocke. She is psionics,
oh, I see her. Yeah.
but she's also an assassin.
I feel like I've seen this one before. We might have actually looked at this previously.
She's a
Checking.
psionic assassin, and
Oh yeah,
she
we've definitely
creates
looked at this
psionic
before.
blades.
Yeah, we've definitely looked at Psylocke before. I do resonate with that, but I'm not sure it's me. That's pretty badass. Yeah.
You got the
Oh,
look
she was
and
in.
figure for it.
Hey. Shut up.
I knew you weren't expecting that comment.
21 minutes it took.
It's like
Oh
you had to look at
my
the screen again and go, wait a minute.
god. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but you try and make me blush on every single show. You try and make me blush, I think. 51 minutes that took. Okay,
I think
Johnny
it's
say
just lucky that way.
he thinks Psylocke is Christy Campbell. Yeah, it could be. I do see that.
Oh yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
Christy and I are very similar on some things because, like the Alias TV show, that could be either of us. I think the Alias, I think that's an actual program, not
It
yeah, not
is.
like one person. It's a program.
Who
Yeah.
would be Rogue?
This is an interesting one because I actually do occasionally think it could be me, but I've never said that to anyone before, and I don't know who else do we think it could be. Rogue. Hmm. John might have an
Because
idea.
the interesting thing about Rogue is she takes on the abilities, but I always found it strange how the hair streak never
Yeah.
returned. It's like once she did that, it was like it was always there. I was like, why is that? And why doesn't
So
that go
if she's
back?
taking on healing powers, she could have been able to heal it. I don't know.
Yeah,
She's a great character. There is somebody in our community who's on the darker side. Not somebody that we talk to every day, but I was kind of warned by somebody that there is somebody with those kind of abilities. And it brings me back to Umbrella Academy, where there's a character there that does absorb everybody's powers. So she comes into like proximity, and she can suddenly just take on their powers and use them, their own powers against them. And it's like she's got some way of using them better as well than the actual person who's trying to learn their powers. So I can't think what she's called, but she's got dark hair. Yeah. So that's scary shit. If imagine if you think you're amazing, hot shit, and somebody else just walks up to you and suddenly they can use your powers better than you. That's like the worst insult. Um,
I know, especially in like 5 seconds. It's like,
mm,
wait, I've been trying
yeah.
to my lifetime to master this. But another one of the underrated, I think, duo of X-Men
Mm,
is Pyro and Iceman.
right.
And the reason I say underrated is
Yeah.
how many scenarios are you in where you need a fireball or you need something turned into ice?
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
like
I think
How
in
often are
the
these guys going
in
on missions?
in the original X-Men movie, I think it was very undervalued what they did with that character for Pyro. They could have done so much more. They really could have. Well, he's just sitting there with a lighter. Like, come on, give him more to do. Yeah, and Iceman got a little bit going, but yeah. I think in the other movie where he did that ice wall to get Wolverine away, that was pretty badass. But
Well, and
yeah.
I always thought it would, talking about Iceman for a second on the side is I was watching this cartoon from the 60s. It was Spider-Man and his amazing friends. And it's Iceman, Spider-Man, and Firestar living together in an apartment to where they flick a light switch and it turns into this ultra high-tech lab.
That's awesome.
And they sit there and they just change in front of each other. And it's like, what? But Iceman always came off as this cheesy, like, I'm gonna create this ice bridge so I can, skate my way over where we're going. And it would always be like, oh man, Spidey, thanks for getting me out of that because it was getting too hot. I'm like, you're made of ice.
Yeah. So I think if you had that ability, what would you do? Where would you live on the planet? You can't just be in normal society. You'd have to be somewhere like Antarctica or somewhere or Iceland, wouldn't you?
I don't
To
know.
make you
I'd be
swim.
like living where it's constantly cool, like Alaska or
Yeah.
North Pole, South Pole, Siberia.
Yeah.
There's a few
Siberia
spots
is a
you
bit
could.
harsh. So
Well,
yeah.
but I mean, you're made of ice, so it's not
Yeah, I
like
guess so.
you're.
I've got memories of being in a base in Siberia.
So
It was very
I,
underground.
I've often wondered because they show him in like human form eating like soup and stuff, and I'm like, wouldn't that he kind of be like melting his ice core? Could he
Because it's
transform
warm.
after
It's warm for
ice?
like a second, and then it just turns to ice as it goes down. Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
no,
it's
no
like
more fire in the belly. It's all ice in the belly. So, oh, they're saying, what about Doctor Doom? So we're shifting into Avengers. What do you think about Robert Downey Jr. as the new Doom?
I don't know because he's so this is a problem when they do this. He is iconic and the quintessential Iron Man. Nobody
Hmm.
is gonna be Iron Man
Yeah,
because they're not him. And he's left. He's no longer because of Thanos with the glove. And so bringing him back as Doctor Doom, the only way I could see that actually work is if the premise is it's Tony, but he was brought back, his mind
hmm.
was identity was blocked, and somebody made him into this, and he doesn't know he's Iron Man.
Yeah,
But, you
yeah. I've
know,
not watched much about it yet, but there's like hints of it on YouTube. Like he was always Doom, and then that's kind of a hidden away somehow. I don't know. I'll go and see it. I'm looking forward to it. I do like him. I do. I think he's a good
yeah.
Iron Man. I remember where I was when that first came out, and I was in Malaysia, and so that was a big time in my life when that first released. So yeah, it was a good movie because that was the first of its kind, really. That kind of big Marvel. Yeah, it paved the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh,
started the entire journey.
so Wizard Wickus is saying, I'm sure some of the Dark Altars could be like Hydra characters. Have you watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I've watched probably 2 or 3 seasons of it, but then
Yeah,
I lost access to it, and now that I have access to, I
yeah.
think I lost access again, and so I'm like, yeah,
I'd just like to say for everybody's watching, if you've not watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., stop this right now and go watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. At least the first couple of seasons of it, because there is disclosure in that for sure. There's artifacts in it that are like real artifacts. So when I watched that Disclosure Day movie, the artifact they showed in the movie, I remembered from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It looks slightly different, but it was the same artifact represented, yeah. So John Whitbeck is saying, I know who Lady Hydra is, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I think I know who Lady Hydra is right now, but I don't think we can reveal that. Yeah, this is the problem, isn't it? You can't just go around telling people, I think you're this character from a comic book. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's tricky. But Missing Type 420 was saying that once he put together, like there was a panel on Typical Skeptic, and he's saying like naming everybody as a character. So that'd be kind of cool.
I don't know who I would be in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Avenger type
Yeah.
scenario. I don't know, it's like, I mean, obviously, I feel like I'd probably be casted as Thor, but
Yes, yeah. See, I would love. I can totally see me as Lady Sif, because there's that one episode of Lady Sif in Agents of Shield, and like they open the hatch on the little blade, and she gets sucked out of it, and they're saying, "Oh, she's gone. Sorry, she's got, she's out." And Coulson says, "She's as Guardian. Get out there." And she's just clinging to the side of the ship as it's going through the
yeah,
air. So I think that's freaking awesome. I love that. I would probably be Fitzsimmons, the scientist kids. I'd probably be one of those. But I also resonate with the main character, who's like the Asian lady who kicks ass, right? Which I forget her name now, but it's like, yeah.
yeah.
Mm. I do resonate with all Asian versions. Yeah. So cool. Guys, has anybody got any questions for Michael? Please pop them in the chat. John Whitberg saying, I can't stand the Avengers, bunch of pussies. Right? I really need to stop reading out what the chat says.
So, actually, the only Avenger that I think, in all honesty, in the first movie was the best represented and best character, and I know this is going to shock everyone because it's not who you think. It was the Hulk.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind the latest Hulk. I think he's okay. Yeah. So
Well,
what?
the reason I say this is because he had the lines of like, he's sitting there like getting attacked and he's like, what is going on? And it's like takes a minute, but then it's like he totally makes up for it when he goes up to Loki and he's like, and Loki's giving him lip and saying, "Oh my God." And so he grabs him by the head and just whips him on
Yes.
the ground a few times and goes, "Puny God."
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
that
That's
was like the
classic.
quintessential best one line ever in a
Yeah,
movie.
that's so good. Yeah, Hulk is an interesting character because he's been played by so many people now. Um, the
I
weirdest
didn't
one for
like,
me was Edward Norton, right? Do you remember that movie?
yeah,
Right, it was a very interesting take on Hulk. When you see him and he's doing his meditation, he's doing his breath work, right? He's learning to try and control it. He's in South America or whatever, and then he's just trying to be away from everybody. I thought that was probably the most interesting movie. It was very different to all the others.
it
Yeah,
made
so
sense though.
yeah,
Because if you think about it, you're this out of control rage machine. So,
yeah,
yeah,
I
if
know.
you're trying to get back into society, you're
Mm,
gonna have to learn to calm your emotions and take control of your emotions. And I mean, let's be honest though,
mm.
the Incredible Hulk has given us one of the best one-liners ever, and that is the "You don't want to make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry."
Yes, yes,
And it's
it's
like
classic.
everybody uses it.
Yeah. That's lasted. It will still last its test of time. The other one is Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. That's a classic
Yeah.
line. Yeah, it
I,
is.
I, when it comes to Spider-Man, I actually feel like Andrew Garfield was the best Spider-Man.
You can't see my face because I'm not talking because it's on speaker view, and I'm just like, what? I don't know who I like, to be honest, anymore. I think I like the latest guy. He's the most athletic. There's no way they could do the stunts he does. He's a trained fucking ballerina. So,
Yeah, but
yeah, I don't know.
when Andrew Garfield was introduced as Spider-Man
Mm.
and he's swinging through the bridge and you hear him say, "Hey, I'm a swinging here."
Yes.
The way he
Yeah.
said it and the way
Mm.
he's like moving, I was like, I
Mm.
totally that Spider-Man. He would have
Yeah.
that attitude of,
Yeah.
"Hey, what are you doing? I'm here."
Well, aren't they both English actors? Andrew Garfield and Tom
He
Holland,
is
is it?
English,
Yeah, they're both
and
English. That's
that,
disappointing for me. Yeah.
but to me, that's the amazing thing is he actually of all the Spider-Man,
Yeah.
he sounds the more Andrew Garfield to me when swinging and when doing some of his
Yeah.
one-liner moments in the movie sounds more New Yorker than
Mm.
anybody else.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I,
And
I,
he's
I
got
thought he
that
was okay. I just
attitude.
didn't love him because I didn't like what they did to his love interest. I think they
Oh
just they
yeah,
just
that
ruined the
was
franchise.
horrible.
Like it was just what's the point in killing off the love interest? Yeah, it was just
She
insane.
was yeah, I was like she's never been and they actually made it a different one too. It was
Yeah.
like he had a different
Yeah.
and it's like wait.
I don't know. Was that going back to the comic books though a bit more when his love interest is Gwen Stacy? Because I think I might have read that somewhere that there was a timeline where that she was the love interest,
I think she
rather than
always
MJ.
yeah, she always was, but it was like something happened to where they couldn't be together. And MJ was like the best friend who kind of
Yeah.
always there, naturally falls.
Mm,
And so to me it was like, yeah, it's hard to see Gwen
mm.
as the love interest, but the way they killed her off, that was
It
beyond
was just awful.
unfair.
And then in the latest movie, they've done a similar scene where he's got to catch the new MJ. And you can see he's like having flashbacks as he's falling, trying to catch her. And I've not seen it, I've only seen clips of it. But you just know, like, because there's things on like saying, oh, everybody knows what he's thinking. And he must be thinking, not again, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Red Guardian. And yeah, it's the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for me is a must watch. It's the early seasons, but then the very last season, I think, or the time before last when they're in space and they're on a space station. And oh my God, so much recall came in for me on that one, especially when she's like a slave and they put something in her ear so she can only hear her master. She can't hear anyone else. I swear, I was talking to Beverly Rose about it because Beverly Rose was literally like on a slave planet or something where she had this collar around her neck, and the closest I've seen to anything like that is the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the very last seasons. Yeah, when it got very weird there. Okay, John is saying thoughts on Sadie Sink as the new Jean Grey. Missing Time says he's cool with it. Yeah, so what do you think about
Yeah.
Sadie Sink as the new Jean Grey? Have you seen that?
No, but
She was in Stranger Things. She was the one that was like flying up in the sky like, oh yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, at least she knows how to fly.
So she's way better than the last one. John is saying. See, I couldn't get into Stranger Things, and this is bad. But I watched the first season, couldn't get into the second season. Then John said that my character's in the third season, right? And I just couldn't even get that far. So I just had to put it to one side, and not because it was even that scary. I just couldn't get through it. I don't know why. It's just there's a resistance there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the new
Um,
Jean Grey. Um, I'd never liked the original Jean Grey. I never liked her. What's her name? Famp Jensen, something like that. I never liked her.
Vamika Jensen or something.
Yeah,
Femke, I think.
yeah. So I never liked her. We will see. I never liked the second one either. I'm a bit fussy when it comes to X-Men. And I always wanted to be an X-Men until somebody started to say, oh, we're Omega class mutants. And then I was like, no, I'm not. Then I realized I don't like being called an Omega class mutant.
I
And
don't like being called mutant.
yeah, I don't really like it. So, but I know yeah, oh, it's Dutch. How do you say that? It's Thump. Yeah, Flix is in the chat and she's Dutch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, there's some coding to make assets resist watching Stranger Things. Okay. Yeah, I mean, because it's just a big amalgamation of different programs and it's not representing one particular person. However, there is a person who believes that they are the main character, but everybody thinks that they're the girl, but they're not. It's just a big mixing pot of all of us, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not Montauk that they're representing. They're representing similar projects. What do you think? Did you watch Stranger Things?
I watched one season and I one factor is I don't have Netflix anymore, so I couldn't watch any of the
Yeah,
other seasons, but I haven't even tried looking it up on YouTube, so I
yeah.
kind of just was like one season that was good. Don't really feel drawn to see the rest of it, but I'm
Hmm.
sure someday I probably will.
I've started watching The Institute. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay, so it's about a boy who's obviously super. He gets abducted in the night. He gets placed in some facility where the kids are like having to go through experiments. So it's very Montauk-y, but it's nicer. I got up to episode 4. So episodes 3 and 4 are a bit triggering because he's in a chair and all that. They're giving him drugs, making him try and project something. So it's just very weird. It's really weird. But I feel like I looked into it last year. I don't know who told me that I might have been the main character running the place. I hope I'm not. You know, I do have some weird signs alters. So yeah, Stranger Things is a big mashup, says What's a Brick Kiss. And
I'm looking it up to see where it's
yeah, The Institute is
airing.
definitely
Like,
something to watch, but with caution. I only got to episode 4 and then I stopped watching it. I just kind of wanted to prove to myself that I could get that far, to be honest. I disassociate very easily these days. I just step back. And I can read things that are harsher, but it's podcasting on these tricky topics is hard for me because I had Chris Latterer come on recently, and
oh yeah.
oh, my internet's getting messed with a little bit. So mention his name. Interesting. And that was hard. Listening to him talk about Montauk, that was really hard. So there's been a few Montauk triggers lately. So John Whitberg is saying season 4, this is still talking about Stranger Things, is top quality television. Easily one of the best seasons of any show, period. The rest fade in comparison. And Wizard Breakers is saying the supernatural thriller series The Institute, which is based on the novel by Stephen King, is primarily available on MGM Plus. Yeah, I have to sign up. By my
It,
Prime Video, I have to sign up for MGM.
it's
So
on Amazon. I saw on Amazon, but you need a subscription to something, so it's probably MGM
yeah,
Plus.
MGM Plus. So, but it's like £5-6. They Prime Video give you the first episode free, so you're thinking, wow, it's free. No, it's not.
I hate when they do
Yeah,
that.
they hook you in with one episode and then that's it, you know?
To me, it actually does the opposite. When I watch the first episode and they're like, "Now you got to pay to watch the rest,"
Yeah.
I am more disgusted than drawn
Yes.
in to want to
Yeah.
pay
I
and be
just
like, "Let's watch it." I'm more like,
yeah.
"Well, this is crap that making me pay to watch the rest. Forget it.
Well,
I just walk away from it."
I signed up for Netflix again so I could watch the Halo. I think was it Halo or something else? It might have been
Yeah,
Paramount. And
Halo
yeah,
season 3 is going to be on Netflix.
so because I had John Whitberg on my back saying, I'm doing the review for Halo, you need to watch it. Don't talk to me if you don't watch it, basically. Don't be
The
watching my
first two
review if you don't watch
seasons,
it. So I paid for it,
yeah.
and then I forgot I'd paid for it then, didn't I? So then, of course, it's on. So I watched the first season, and within the first 30 minutes, I was literally like, fuck me, right? This
Yeah.
is like, oh my God, I'm on the train and I'm getting like flashbacks coming in, like, ugh. Okay, so yeah.
The
So
the suit in the intro, that's what like flagged
Yes.
me, and I was like, wait a minute. And
Yeah.
I watched the entire season waiting for the suit, and I'm like, it's only in the promo. I'm like,
Oh, was that a smart suit?
the
Yeah.
suit, how it like nano appears,
Right.
the blacks. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like, I know that suit. Oh,
Yeah.
are they gonna show that on every episode? And it's like, nope,
No.
it's just in the opening sequence.
Yeah, the main one for me was when he's on the battlefield and he's got that Cortana AI in his head. I've said this
Yeah,
before. And he's on the battlefield and she's showing him things. And I literally felt like, oh my God, that's like me and Drago. Because I had a memory come in of I was on a ship, but I was linked into his mind and he's linked into my mind. And that's the closest thing. Because it's like we're sending out these concentric circles of energy, mapping the battlefield between the two of our energies. And he's getting like the heads up, and I'm getting it on the ship. So it's like I literally felt that was similar to what I remembered. And I couldn't even describe what I remembered properly before. Do you know what I mean? So it's good when you see somebody's tried to put it out there. Obviously, I'm not an
yeah.
AI, we're just psychically connected like that anyway.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I feel like everybody else is like
Mm.
seeing him have that implanted into his brain.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Oh,
And
wow.
I remember this voice being in my head and
Mm.
images projecting in front of me that's like data and
Yeah. So what
okay,
kind of
here's
voice
this,
was in
this.
your head? Was it a male voice, female voice? What was it like?
I would say probably female voice.
Okay. Because I was doing my crystal skull activation yesterday, and I literally had I'll just call it an AI. I had an AI come in, like an operating system come in, and I was actually like, no, I'm sorry, you can like go to sleep right now. So yeah. And that was a female voice. John Webberg is saying, I hope they completely restart Halo, get rid of the stupid side plots, make it much less family friendly, up with the special effects, then it'll be good. And I am Barry saying, I hope they get a part 3 for Rebel Moon. Hmm.
I haven't seen Rebel Moon.
I haven't seen Rebel Moon. Let me check that. Interesting.
Yeah, what is Rebel Moon?
Oh, yeah. Rebel Moon cast. Let's see. Who is in this?
Space film event by Zack
Oh,
Snyder.
Charlie Hunnam is in it. He's the only one I recognize in the whole of that. It's directed by Zack Snyder. Interesting. Yeah, that looks like something worth watching for sure. Okay. So has anyone got any questions or any topics that they want to ask Mike?
Is
Do
this
it now.
supposed to be like a knockoff of Star Wars or something?
Oh, I don't know. Um, it says when the ruthless forces of the mother world threaten a quiet farming village on a distant moon, a mysterious outsider becomes its something something. I don't know. Didn't get that far. So, set in the Star Wars universe, I think.
It says when a peaceful settlement on the edge of a distant moon finds itself threatened by a tyrannical ruling force, a stranger living among its villagers becomes their best hope for survival.
You know what I never got into, and everyone's going to hate me for this? The Mandalorian. I couldn't get into anything Star Warsy because for me, I'm Star Trek. That's how I was raised. Star Wars, I still need to go back, I think, and rewatch everything now with my new brain. Um, yeah, John's saying Rebel Moon is pretty good. It's a better quality knockoff Star Wars. Okay.
Yeah, I was looking at the poster and it says Rebel Moon Part 1, A
Yeah.
Child of Fire. There are no heroes, only
Okay.
rebels.
So even Rainbow Flame Wizard loves Rebel Moons. This is definitely something we need to add to the list. Um, Yeah, I need to rewatch everything because my brain's changed a lot in the last year. So I'm picking up on a lot more disclosure and strange things. Okay, the Orville lovers here. So does anybody watch Orville? Have you watched it?
I watched Orville.
Tell us about it because I couldn't get through it. So, yeah,
So Orville was like Star Trek. It was a spoof of Star Trek where they had an android who came from a world that was like wanted to destroy humanity, operating on the ship, and it was just reactions, and they're making fun of the Prime Directive, and they had a security officer who could bend steel with their bare hands without breaking a sweat, and it was more like kind of like Spaceballs meets Star Trek kind of feel, where it's this campy comedy and just pokes the fun out of everything. But yeah, I mean there probably was some disclosure in it, but it was probably buried deep in the comedy.
yeah. So we do need to talk a bit about Heroes because Hayden's just passed away. So did
Yeah, I
you watch
saw that.
Heroes? Yeah.
I did. And I thought in the beginning, I thought it's all about her and her story, and this is really cool
Yeah, save
because
the cheerleader, save
it
the world.
was
Yeah.
it was interesting, but then it's like mid-season, it's like, yeah, we're no longer caring about her. It's now becoming everybody else. And I was like, wait a minute. They're like that
Yeah.
she's totally disappeared. It's like, what? How? Wait. And yeah, I didn't like that, but
Yeah.
then they tried to bring her back and bring everybody back together to do everything in the second season. I was like, yeah, no. It never really recovered back, and the enemies were becoming the heroes, and I was like, I don't know about
Hmm.
this.
I think the first two seasons were really good. I was super hooked in, and this was a time when there wasn't much else on like that. For me, it
Yeah,
was like the little Japanese guy, the teleporting guy, that really hooked me in. You know, he's on the subway, he's looking at the picture of New York City, and the next minute he's there. So that was like,
yeah.
wow, I've got to watch this. This is amazing. And but yeah, it was a bit yeah.
It was a little
So
bit too scattered. It's like
yeah,
it's like they had a focus, and they're like, oh no, we got to cover all these other story arcs now
yeah,
too. And it's like, wait, no, no, you just
yeah.
too
And
much.
I'm always going to find any bad guy that can puppet people to be absolutely terrifying. And I'm pretty sure there was an episode of some kind of puppeteer,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
which was just messed up. And that makes me think about Jessica Jones, the TV show. Have you seen that?
I I've seen the old version, not the new version.
Ah, okay. Because that the main baddie in that, he's also somebody that can puppet people's energy, and he'll just say to you like, "Oh, pour that coffee on yourself," and you'll just do it. Do you know what I mean? And so he'd say to you like, "Don't move," and you just be stuck in that place until he came back to relieve you or whatever. Absolutely terrifying. Oh my god. So yeah, that's definitely one to rewatch. But I think that's quite triggering that show. Yeah. Oh, Hiro Nakamura might be Harune. That's interesting, John. Yeah, you should definitely watch Hero season one, I think, and see. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I still need to watch the new Spider-Man for sure. I might try. I need to get my cards out this week, and then I'll
The
see about
one
going next week. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say though, the one thing about Heroes that I don't think anybody paid
Hmm.
attention to was the one guy, I think he was like a detective in Heroes.
I'm not sure I remember.
He was in Star Wars and Star Trek.
Oh,
It's like he has become every sci-fi show now has him since Heroes. So if you watched like if you want to know I forget his name, but if you watch the um second Star Trek where they're at Yorktown. The guy that's in command of the Yorktown facility, that's the guy from Heroes.
Okay, let me just check
And
that.
if you watch episode, I think it's 6, where or is it or seven? I mean 7. It's 7 or 8 where they're running the trenches of the Star Killer base.
Yeah.
He's one of the surviving rebel X-wing fighters that is very close to Poe Dameron. So that's his trail. Is he goes Heroes to Yorktown to fighting in an X-wing with Poe
Yeah.
Dameron. But it's interesting to watch his. He like pretty much shows up in
Hmm.
every uh deal, and I wish I could remember his name.
Hmm. Have you watched Stargirl TV show?
I watched a little bit of it.
I've not seen it. I think I might have watched one episode actually. Uh, so trying to get a rating on that. 94 out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's DC. I think I did watch a couple of episodes. What do you think about the new Supergirl? I just saw the poster when I went to the cinema recently and I was like, nope, I'm not going to watch
Yeah.
that. It just
I
looks
think
wrong.
it's totally stupid
Yeah.
because we grew up with I'm sorry, we grew up with
The most beautiful
Superman
Supergirl in the world.
who
Yeah.
cannot get drunk because of his deal. And then we're introduced to Kara, who is drunk
Oh, yeah, that's so
and
true.
has Crypto, the
Mm,
dog who was Superman's dog.
mm,
And so it's like, wait
mhm.
a minute. This doesn't make sense. This isn't adding up. What is going on here? And it's just I I haven't watched the movie because I'm like, I'm sorry. You cannot,
Mhm.
in all honesty, get me to believe
Yeah. So in the
a
chat,
Kryptonian can get drunk.
they're saying that you're showing your recall skills like eating cheesecake. They're saying you've got a big movie database in your head. I used to have a really good movie mind, and then I had my son, and then I just got constantly mind wiped after that. So I've got little bits and pieces in my head. So I embarrassed saying you've got to watch Woo Assassins.
Woo,
Uh,
assassins.
yeah. I've not heard of that either. Checking. One moment. Pictures help me. Pictures help me see. Uh, let's have a look at this. Oh, there's a season. Oh yeah, I watched one of this. I did. Where he takes on all the energy of all the assassins and then he changes his face. Is that one? I think I started to watch this. Wu Assassins follows Kai Jin, a San Francisco Chinatown chef who becomes the final Wu assassin, tasked with preventing mystical Wu powers from falling into dangerous hands. Infused with the strength and skills of 1,000 monks, you must face criminals wielding elemental forces. Yeah, I definitely saw at least one episode of that. That was really, really good, actually. Yeah, but 83 out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. Um, yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah. Um, John is saying his son's in one of the altars in We're Assassins. Oh, that's cool. Uh, okay, so it's going to bring me back to Altered Carbon now because John's talking about that kind of thing. So, how did you watch Altered Carbon? Have we spoken about this already? We probably
I
have.
haven't watched it, but
Michael
uh,
Kopf, go and watch it right now. Oh my god, you've got to watch it right now. Anybody who's not watched Altered Carbon, please go and watch the first season and then go to Substack to John Whitberg's review that he did about it. So it's based on his alter Caldell show. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a great representation about breakaway societies, cloning, soul bites.
It, it's it
A
is on
conscious
my
to
list to
clone.
watch.
Yeah,
I
honestly, top priority right now. Seriously, don't talk to
so
me until you've watched it. So,
I just found the guy that I was talking about. His name is Grunberg.
yeah, I think the guys put something in the chat about him a minute ago. Hold on. Yeah, missing time 420, but Greg Gunberg. Not too sure. Okay, so
Yeah.
Nathan Fox is saying about
He
the
played
new
Matt
Rogue.
Parkman
Okay, yeah.
and was in Star Wars as Snap Wexley, and then was in Star Trek as Commander Finnegan.
Okay.
So he gets to be in
Mm,
all these kind of sci-fi stuff now. And it's like, yeah, he he has quite a list of shows, but it's like that was when people I think really kind of paid attention to him.
mm. So John McBaker is saying Altered Carbon is the most accurate show ever made. So if you want to get some recall in, watch Altered Carbon. Yeah, seriously.
Uh,
It's like top of the list. So I've got a post on my channel about things to watch, and that's top of the list, I think. Yeah. So
that,
Missing Time was talking about the best role was Big Ass Spider, and for Greg, have you seen that? I don't know. I don't
oh,
know about this at all. So
Big Ass
um,
Spider? I don't recognize that name.
no. He's also been in the movie Big Ass Spider. Greg Gunberg. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of things.
Okay. So, final questions, guys. If anybody's got a question or a topic, now's the time to do it. I literally, my hearing aids have got very low battery today. I've just been doing so many things, and because I get up at
And,
5 a.m., it's like I've
and
got
you
to remember
even
to charge
charged
my hearing
him.
aids. No, well, a full charge is like I need at least an hour to get a full charge on my right ear. So you're beamed into my right ear. So once that gives me a beep, I've got like a minute left. It's like bad. So yeah. So so I'm kind of in
Um,
between things. I've been charging them today, and yeah, so it's easier if I have a sleep in the middle of the day, then that's best because then I can just take them off. But when I do meditation in the day, I leave one on, and I don't use the left much. The left is basically I need to get it fixed. Basically, the left doesn't work anymore. Oh yeah, so Nathan's asking about Indy Navarrete as the new Rogue. So I've not really looked into the new Rogue yet, so I'm going to have a look and see. Um, yeah, I
yeah,
like
I'm not
we
sure.
did talk briefly about Rogue character. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting character for sure. She looks interesting. Yeah, I've not seen her in anything else. Have you? She was in Superman and Lois. That
Oh,
was
she
probably
was.
that was probably after I finished watching because I used to watch the early days of the Superman stuff. He's my favorite. Dean Cain is my all-time favorite Superman. I know that's not a popular opinion, but if you grew up watching him on a Saturday night at being that kind of Superman, oh, it's awesome. He was a big crush for me.
So the
Yeah.
beef I have is with Superman is Brandon Ruth
Yeah, I
had
didn't
the
even watch it.
potential to be a really great
In
Superman
that suit,
because,
it's like a pajama set you give your kids.
but they turned him into like a stalker
Oh,
because
Superman
they
always was a stalker. He was always stalking Lois Lane, looking through her clothing with his X-ray vision. He wasn't he? He was always a bit of a stalker. So it wasn't for those lead-based plants pots or whatever. Yeah.
well, the thing is so he's supposed to be a dad now, but
Oh.
so the premise of his movie is he left Earth because they found remnants of Krypton and he needed to go see if there were survivors. So he
Mm.
comes back and he had never said goodbye. So Lois got married, raised his son with another man, and you see him and he's floating outside of her house watching them with the x-ray vision, and then he goes up to clear his head and there's a scene where Lois is, what if we need you? How will we ever find you? And he goes, I'm always around, Lois. And
That's
it's
super
like,
creepy.
it is. It's like, dude, they like
Mm.
totally turned you into this creepode.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm.
I will say
Yeah.
though, the emotional Superman, I have to say, goes to, and I know a lot of people are gonna not agree with me, but it's gotta be Henry Cavill.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a fine Superman, except for the one where it was a few of them together and Wonder Woman was in there and they like CGI'd away his mustache or something, and he just looked really weird in that movie. Whichever that was, where they're all together in the same movie.
I think
Um,
that was Flash, actually.
no, Henry Cavill, they did something to his face because he had a mustache. And they tried to remove it, and it looked weird. So I didn't like that. So Henry Cavill is good, and him as Wolverine. Have you seen that clip as well? Right in like
No.
in Deadpool, well, there's when they go into a different world or whatever, and he is like Wolverine. It's so cool. So I do like him, but the more they keep remaking Superman, the more I just want to go back and watch the original Superman with Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Right, because that was classic. That was like so
But
good. You didn't realize how good it was until they start making all these crappy ones with too much tech in it. Yeah.
and I sat down and I was looking at the superheroes of like old to new, and I like Henry Cavill's outfit because it looks like one solid unit.
Mm.
No, no biggie. But when they bring the red shorts back out for like Superman, I'm like, why do our superheroes look like they're put their underwear on the outside of their clothes? I'm
Yeah.
like, really? It's like
Mm.
even like Wonder Woman, it's like you look at her and you're like, you're wearing your underwear on the outside, except for the top half is not
I love Wonder
considered.
Woman. I love the Wonder Woman just as much as I love Xena Warrior Princess. You know, it's very
Yeah.
similar kind of clothing. I love Xena so much. I a big crush on Xena for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Um,
mean, there,
yeah.
there, it was, they were more covered, and it wasn't,
Mm.
that. But it's like when you look at like the cartoons, it's like every character looks like to become a superhero is they had to put their underwear on the outside of their outfit, and it's like, why?
Well, every kid did that growing up, I'm sure. Yeah.
I never did.
So yeah, I don't even know what I was really into. I mean, I was super into Ghostbusters, super into Thundercats. I really was.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm talking like, 10, 11, 12, 13,
They,
14, 15. Yeah.
I don't know if it was AI or
Mm.
not, but I saw that it was supposed to be in 2027, I think,
Yeah.
that there was going to be a live version of Thundercats.
Mm. Yeah, I saw a few clips of that. I think that was just, I don't know, like, was that fan made? I don't know. Is that real? That
I
would be
know that's
cool.
the problem with all these people flooding everything with
Yeah.
AI. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know now if it's AI
It
or
was
not.
this, it
And
looked good for sure. Because don't forget, like,
Voltron, the same thing.
yeah, I included Thundercats in my basis presentation because for me, 1985, that was the first introduction to the Lyrans, and the Black Pyramids. Because I had all these Black Pyramid activations last year, and I started to think, well, when did I first ever see a Black Pyramid? And then somehow on Instagram, it popped up the intro for Thundercats, and right there, Black Pyramid ship, right there in the
Yeah,
intro. Couldn't believe
Mama.
it. So that's 10 years old. That was my first interaction that I'm aware of with Black Pyramid. So they're asking about Percy Jackson. I love the Percy Jackson first movie Even the second
Yeah,
movie, not too sure what happened
yeah.
after that, but I love the first two movies. Yeah.
They turned it into a Disney TV show,
Ah, okay. Yeah, I
and
never
I
read the
never watched.
books, but I did love the first two movies. They were so
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Yeah, but again, Camp Hero, Camp Half Blood. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Triggering. Yeah. I didn't find it triggering at the time, except I think in the second movie there's more games competing against each other, capture the flag and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there was a lot of
But
like being pitted against each other that's coming into my awareness.
but
Yeah.
the interesting thing that everybody missed
Mm,
about Thundercats is it takes place on our planet.
mm,
It's the Earth realm, and they are the felines that were here because they call it Third Earth, and it is the Third
mm,
Earth. And I was watching a thing, and somebody goes, "Well, and then you have Mumra's pyramid, which with the obelisk, that would be Egypt, and it's in the desert
mm,
area." So that's a nod to Egypt and Set. And then they were like, and you look at the statues in there, they're all the Egyptian dark
yeah.
deities. So this is obviously Earth. And but then I
Mm,
was like, if this is Earth, I get the felines, are the Thundercats.
yeah.
But who are the Burbles?
Oh, I don't even know who that is. I've forgotten now. What do
They're
they
the
look like?
robotic teddy bears,
Oh,
the excellent builders. It's like,
yeah.
what
You know what?
civilization do we have that we would sit there and go, that's the Burbles?
I was obsessed with Ewoks for a while. I really
That's
was
what they
obsessed.
are.
There was
They're
an
like
Ewok
robotic
cartoon.
Ewoks.
Do you remember the Ewok cartoon? I was obsessed with
Yes.
it for a while. Yeah, I was. It's so funny. They're talking about John Carter movie 2012. Now, I love that movie. I could sit and
So
watch that movie any day of the week. I think it's a fantastic movie.
they're doing
Um,
another one finally.
Are they? Now, did I
Yes.
know that I had connections to Mars when I watched that movie? No, of course not. So I need to rewatch it now to see. But there's plenty of things like when he goes into the cave, and it's yeah. There's a lot of triggers in that
So
movie before I even realized like what was going on. Yeah.
I think a lot of people got triggered by that movie too, by the knowledge that Edward Rice Burroughs wrote it 100 years ago,
Wow.
over 100 years ago, and when they made the movie, they made Princess of Mars in the 80s or 90s, and it had Tracy Lords, and everybody was like, oh, this is okay, and everything. And then when they went to make John Carter, they said, we can finally make this movie because the technology caught up to the book.
Mm.
And
Wow,
it
that's
took
amazing.
100 years for the technology to come to movies to make the book into a movie. And so I was like, to me,
Mm.
that was kind of triggering because I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, what could possibly be written that takes 100 years to bring to reality? And that's like you
Yeah.
watch it and you're like, oh crap. And like the ninth ray,
Mm. Yes. Yes.
oh man.
Well, I've been dealing with like the orange ray of energy at the moment because my fire shield card, like Marantha said, channel through from my galactic team, you need to work with your fire shield of source. And I thought, hang on, she's talking about the card. So when I created that card, I channeled in a fire shield from source without realizing it. And then this ray of energy has been coming in, this orange ray, and it's really interesting. I'm thinking about, the in the John Carter movie when you've got those observers, right? And they're monitoring the course of history and they're
Oh
giving
yeah.
some people the technology. And that just brings me back into like SSP stuff where you've got these observers, you've got the handlers, you've got the ancient ETs on the planets who are the master of observers. And that was one of my first triggering things ever where it unlocked my mind, like a code. Yeah, the ninth ray is the violet flame. And so 7, 8, 9 are all kind of like variations of purple flames. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have an interesting idea to do before we end this show,
Mm.
and that is because we both have the breakaway
Oh
deck
yeah,
to
yeah. We got the breakaway
see
deck.
if we like. Do you want to do a 1, 2, 3 card and see
You
if
want
we
to?
can match cards, or
It's unlikely because it's so random at times when we pull the cards out. The main message that's been coming from the cards recently is think about what that altar would be presenting. So, how would that altar think? How would they deal with your current situations in your life and stuff like that? That's the main messages I've been getting from the deck this week. I think it's because my perspective is changing as well, working on the new deck. So when I work on this roles and responsibilities of the galactic assignments, we're going more into those individualized responsibilities, and we've all got many of them. So we were never just one person. We all had all these different aspects, or even like one, you thought you were a diplomat, but you didn't realize that it actually included assassination training and honeypot training and all that. It was all part of
yeah,
that one package. So yeah, so when I work with the deck at the moment, it's like expanding into a bit like how I work with shamanic animals. When I'm thinking about what would that animal do in this situation, what are they trying to teach me? What are they trying to tell me? Okay, I'm fanning out my deck. I'm going to pick a card. How about I pick a card for you? You pick a card for me.
okay.
Yeah,
I already
okay.
got mine
Have
picked.
you? Okay. I picked a card. Oh my God, you won't believe what I picked. I picked Mars. I got Mars. Maybe because we were talking about John Carter of Mars.
Project Phoenix.
You got Project Phoenix. Oh, is that for me? Because I've
Yeah,
been I've been activating a lot of Project Phoenix stuff lately. I really have.
and
Like people are coming out of the woodwork right now.
this was the second card,
Oh,
Arasaka.
Arasaka Robotics. Interesting. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, so Jerry is saying that he came up. So Jerry comes up with ideas and he sends them into the studios. And so in the chat, he's saying, I came up with Morphing 1987 for Terminator 2, Liquid Metal, sent to Star Trek to pass to Industrial Light and Magic, also for Star Wars later special effects. I was born 1957, Incredible Shrinking Man, and loved 1933, King Kong and Wizard of Oz. Huh. Okay, hey Linda, how you doing? So Wizard of Oz is a major programming movie, MK Ultra, very triggering. John
Oh
Whitberg did a
yeah,
2.5 hour review on it on his channel with a massive trigger warning attached, and it wasn't that bad. But if you were programmed with the Wizard of Oz, then you're going to find it activating. I don't think I was programmed with Wizard of Oz. I think I was programmed with Return to Oz. So if anybody else has got that same experience, please let me know. Because I was 10 years old when that came out. I think that was my main programming movie. Um, what you do? So what have you picked? Okay, you want to do a quick draw? Let's do a quick draw.
oh, I showed you the two that I had.
Okay, let's do one more quick draw. This is collective energy reading. So we're just going to pick up very random collective energy. Quick draw. 1, 2, 3. I got anchor. Earth your
I got
energies.
heal.
You got heal. Oh, that's perfect cards to finish on. So I've got the earth energy and you've got the water energy. That's perfect. So I've got anchor and stabilize your energy, and you've got heal your emotions and ease through your pathway. How cool is that? That's perfect to finish on, I think, for sure.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So Breakaway Oracle cards, guys. So the blue deck is the original foundation deck, which is an introduction into the programs. The orange deck is the new deck, which is galactic assignments, where we go deeper into assignments, roles, and responsibilities. And they're both available to pre-order at breakawayoracle.com. And this is because I need to get all the money together to put it into another unique print run. So they get printed in small batches. So the orange deck is getting printed hopefully in the next 2 weeks. And if I get orders
You
for
know,
the blue deck, then that'll get printed soon as well.
I need to see something because I think I have AI generated this ship for me. Is it
Behind you.
here? Not the one that's behind me right now, but okay. I created this image quite like probably back in May, June, and look at the ship that you have on the cover of the Oracle deck, it almost looks exactly the same.
That's so true. So if I move out of the way of mine as well, people can see when I'm talking. Yeah.
I was looking at that going, I've seen that ship before. Where have I seen that? And then I was like, I was going through my video of my background and I was like, oh my God, it's freaking right there. It I had an AI generated that one recently, so there's no way I could have the deck. I got it generated before I had the deck, so I couldn't make it to look that way.
So the chat is saying, I believe these images are captured from the fabric of esoteric realm. That's right. It's funny how because I've been creating designs and John Whitbo's been creating some designs as well. And sometimes he'll explain things and then I go create the design or we'll be bouncing off each other with ideas. And then yeah, we're very close, I think, a lot of the time on how we envision things. So it's really cool. I think some of mine is literally coming from subconscious as well, because it's like maybe the alters are having an input. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. So I've created 53 new cards. I'm going through the final quality checks now, so I can get a sample deck printed hopefully in the next week. So it's a very exciting time. This one has been a real surge of creative energy, especially since I had the hypnosis. I feel like my mind is coming back. I'm getting better access to my memory. I'm focused, like surges of energy are coming in. So it's really, really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
manifesting from soul memory. Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
have you noticed like I would be sitting like down like today and going, "Oh man, I got to do this and this and this and I don't have time to do this, but I got to do it because this place isn't open on the weekend." And then going, "Oh wait, today is Wednesday. I got a whole other
Oh,
day to do it." It's
yeah.
like
I
somehow
keep,
it's like,
yeah, I keep getting my days wrong because I
yeah.
really do think that we've gone to a 3 day week. Just the matrix has shifted into a 3 day week. So we're going through weeks faster. That's how I feel. Because we'll start the week and then suddenly I'll feel like it's Friday, but actually it's Tuesday. I'm like, I'm not sure what's happened here. So yeah, I keep losing days, and I have to work with calendars. So that my memory is quite bad generally. It's getting better now that I'm stopping the Pepsi. Um, but yeah, so I don't have that much going on in my day. I work intuitively, but the podcasts help keep me on a schedule. They really do. If I didn't have a podcast, like Sundays, I don't do podcasting on Sundays hardly ever. So Sunday is just a really slow, long day. Right, time slows down on a Sunday for me again. Whereas every day is quite fast because I'm working across two different time zones. My day just slips away. It's insane, really.
So
Yeah.
my schedule, oh my, you would probably faint if you had my schedule right now.
Well, you've got a day job, haven't you?
No,
You don't have a day job. I thought you had a full-time job.
no,
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I thought you literally had a
but
full-time job, plus you were doing podcasts and stuff. So yeah, okay.
I couldn't have a full-time job right now with the podcasting
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
oh
but
my,
your podcasting schedule is like a fraction of mine, and mine's a fractions of
oh,
Rob's, right? Have you increased your podcasting schedule?
I have.
Okay, because I do 12 a week. Rob does like what,
So
3 to 4 a day? Like he
I'll
does over
give you,
20, 25 a week.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give you a glimpse of my new schedule coming, and it's I've added 2 shows to my schedule. I don't host them, I co-host them, but
Yeah.
so starting September 13th, I will be doing a 2-hour show with Emily Men's House, What the Frick Live rebooted.
What the frick? Okay.
And then Monday, I don't have a show, but then Tuesday would be my show, The Energy That Surrounds Us. Wednesday, Riding Through the Unknown. Thursday, Paranormal Verses when it returns.
Yeah.
But then once a month on a Wednesday, I have Paul's paranormal, or no, Paul's pop culture podcast for
Yeah.
an hour.
You do
And
British shows as well, don't you? It's interesting to see you with British shows. I don't
I
really
do
do anything
sometimes.
British at all. Basis is the only UK thing I do. But I did go on the Alienate UK Anti Decode. I did do one little like panel on there when they did that
Yeah.
24-hour stream. I jumped on the Sunday, but I just don't really fit in with the UK scene at all. I felt like
So,
so different, like compared to everybody else.
yeah. Well, and
Mm.
on some Mondays, now that I think about it, because I said I don't do shows, that's actually not true. For an hour on either a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or a Friday is Paul Dale Roberts has All Things Paranormal. I'm a co-host of that show.
Wow, you're doing a
And
lot of
so
co-hosting.
when I, yeah, so when he does those and my schedule allows, I pop
Yeah.
in those. And Willow, Multiverse, I think, I don't know the full
Mm.
network name that she has, but Thursdays and Fridays is normally her day. I pop in and do shows. She's out of Scotland with her
Yeah.
panel. And on occasion at night, if my schedule allows, Hercules Invictus has panel shows about different topics for an hour. So I'm a part of that as well.
I had
And
no idea that your schedule got so busy. You're on
I
so
know.
many other
I'm
channels
like,
right now. That's insane.
it's like I
Oh.
blinked and I woke up and I was like, what
Mm.
happened?
Wow. I do my 6 morning lives a week, which are at midnight Eastern, 5 a.m. UK. And I generally do one, or sometimes occasionally two towards the end of the week. So I do one guest show every day if I can. Generally, I'll do two on a Friday and a Saturday, perhaps. I try to have Sundays off. It doesn't always work out that way. And then I do Typical Skeptic once a month. I do Slavka Show once a month. There's a couple of other ones I do once a month. I don't do a lot of guest spots because I like to only work with people I feel comfortable with right now because I'm going through so much weird trauma healing and all that.
Oh yeah.
I did get some new requests come in, and I said, please, can we just push it to the end of the year? And then somebody got a little bit offended. I said, but I know all these people, and I'm a good person, And I was like, dude, calm down. I just don't
So
have capacity right now. I need to take a
yeah,
break. Right? So it's
and
quite funny.
I'm
Yeah.
doing interviews hit or miss now. It's like
Yeah. I
depends on
prefer
who's,
hosting. Hosting is so much better, I think, than interviews. Yeah.
but I'm like I go on select shows now for interviews and
Mm.
I even have some guests of mine that have like projects that they're doing and everything and they're like, "Hey, can we slot you in and
Yeah.
have you as a part of this?" I'm like, "Okay." And so it's like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like I'm beginning to feel like
Yeah.
there's going to be no day of the week coming up soon where I am not on screen somewhere
That sounds,
doing
it can be
something.
very tiring though. People don't realize how tiring it is, especially when you're hosting and you got to do like videos and uploads and savings and all this promotions, and that does take up a
Yeah.
lot of time just doing promos and stuff as well. So
And I do have one podcast show that I'm supposed to do with someone, but we keep pushing it back and we haven't been able to talk to iron out the details. So
hmm,
that one is coming to, so it's like, yeah, so I have a lot of
hmm.
fires going and it'll,
Definitely don't have as much going on as you because I've got basis promos that I'm working on. Graphic design for bases, keeping mouse in check is like a part-time job. And then I've got Breakaway Oracle Galactic assignments to finish in the next 2 weeks, hopefully. And then we'll start working on the third expansion pack at some point to release before Christmas. I do 2 to 3 hours of meditation every day. That's where my time goes a lot. So because I do memory mining and I'm trying to access altars and stuff like that. So
I got
yeah,
writing too. I write
yeah, the
books,
writing.
so I got
Yeah.
writing.
When I finished the cards almost, but I still got to work on the guidebook. And then I'm going to take the guidebooks for deck 1 and 2 and put it into like one official companion book that will go on Amazon, hopefully by October. So, because I want to take it to the Basis conference in November. The next conference, I'm just exhibiting, so I don't have any responsibilities while I'm there, which is great. And but I've got all the promos. We need to sell the tickets, guys. Go to basistv.org to buy the tickets for the Basis conference, November 5 and 6. We've got some great speakers. We've got some really good speakers. Yeah, so I need to
Oh
sell some
man,
tickets. Yeah.
if I wasn't already booked, I would consider coming.
Yeah, I'm still trying to finalize my American speakers as well. Brad Olson is confirmed, and there's 1 or 2, and Laura Eisenhower I think is confirmed. I'm not sure. There's another 1 or 2 that I'm trying to get over. So we will see what happens with that. So some of it's up in the air because Miles thinks that there's going to be no fuel soon for the planes. He's determined in his mind that their fuel is going to be so expensive that they're going to start canceling all the flights and things like that. So who knows? He said that last time. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
Yeah.
there is a thing where I've seen it at conferences here to where even though the people are here in the States, that they can't like physically arrive to the point of the conference. So they will put up a screen and just do like a Zoom where they
See,
come in and
Miles
do their.
hates that. He hates that. So he does have generally Penny Bradley's done Zoom twice, Beverly Rhodes has done Zoom twice. But it's like if people are coming all that way to the conference, he wants live speakers generally. So yeah, so it's brilliant when we can get Penny Bradley on because she's fantastic. And Beverly Rhodes as well. But he wants real speakers. So I mean, even at the Project Camelot conference recently, the first speaker couldn't make it. And so they phoned up Miles to try and get access to somebody else who was supposed to be in the UK. And he said, "Oh, forget that person. Just Anchorhaven's right there. Just get her on stage now." So that's how I got that job, which was great. I actually got paid a speaker fee. It's the first time I've ever been paid for a speaker fee, and I've done hundreds and hundreds of talks all over the UK. Mind Body Spirit Fairs. I've never been paid anything before, so I was stoked. I was so happy. And that's going on to projectcamelotportal.com, I think it is. They're putting my video on there soon because they asked about how to spell my name and everything. What's her name? So yeah, it's still
So
Anchorhaven, guys. Yeah.
I was gonna say, is it under Anchorhaven or is it gonna be under Julia?
It's either Anchorhaven or Julia Anchorhaven. So it's generally Anchorhaven, and then you can talk about me as Julia Anchorhaven, right? So, but my name is Anchorhaven. That's the branding. That's the code name in the Super Soldier programs is Anchorhaven, right? It just happened to I channeled it through without realizing it, and then Draco told me that is your code name, and I was like, I had no idea. So that's really weird. Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot's in the chat. I really do need to get you guys on the show. I think I might have sent you an email, but I don't think I put dates on it. So my September diary is open. So the first 2 weeks are already booked, I think. I'm thinking about doing a marathon show. What do you think, Michael Kopf?
I'd be down
Like a
for it.
6 hour show or something where people can pop in and out. Should we do something like that in September? Yeah,
I'd be down for that.
yeah. Interesting.
And
Sir Michael the Brave is saying, I use labradorite to manipulate time. Labradorite to manipulate time. Not thought of it as a time crystal before, but I can see what you mean. That's
yeah,
interesting because it's got
I
the
think they
aurora.
all. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think a lot of them can do it. It's all on intention. But
yeah. I've
one
never
one
specifically thought of that.
show where
Yeah.
do we do that I'm kind of missing, and I keep
It's
trying to
yes,
keep schedule open for, but
yes,
I don't know when it's coming. Is the
yes.
next, and I know I've asked you several times about it.
Yes. It's going to come into my awareness very soon, I think. So that's the super soldier, the SSP discussion panel. Are we talking
Yeah,
about? Yeah. So we do need to get that kickstarted for September. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's
yeah.
put something in the diary. Yeah, I'll try and get it on. Yeah, so that kind of like I lost momentum on that, which is probably targeting, to be honest. My targeting's quite
The
eased right
SSP
now. Ha-
debriefing.
yeah, the debrief, yeah. But it's because I've been working on the deck. When I work on the cards, there's particular cards that activate triggers or activate activations and healing. So I did get a big trigger on a card recently, and it was about like an extraction type card. So I got this kind of flood of energy, like a memory of like, oh my God, I've been left behind. I've been abandoned on a planet somewhere, like a failed extraction. That's the kind of energy
Yeah,
that came in, and I was just like, oh my God, I've been left to die. Like, oh, so that's something I've been dealing with. The first deck, I got activated on the Breakaway Civilian card, got altars come in, and I got activated on the Russian SSP. So the Russian SSP Akashic records are now open. So more and more people are going to start pulling the Russian card and starting to get their Russian memories, which is quite interesting. Anyway, let's finish up. We go for 2 hours, and it's almost midnight here. So thank you so much. It's a really cool show. Thank you
yeah.
everybody for joining us, and please do watch this back. Please comment if you do watch the replays. Please always put comments in, and I'll try and respond to them if I can. It's so
And
much fun. Yeah.
next time I come on, I might actually talk about the books.
Yes. Well, we did start to talk about the books, didn't we? So just show your book. Go on, show your
I'm
book.
like, yeah, we got to the first book that we talked about the cover and Selena's rolling, starting.
So
So
it
there
was
you
my
go.
idea as well. Should we write the books today? And we
So
do like 10 minutes on the book and like 2 hours on comic books. Yeah.
so the next episode I'll talk about book 2 for 10
Yeah.
minutes.
And then the next one we'll talk about book three,
The-
and we'll do
yeah,
this for 5 months. Yeah.
yeah,
So we generally do 2 shows together a month, one on your channel, one on my channel, which are lots of fun.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're saying this is fun. So, okay, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Please do like, comment, and share. Yeah, and I'll be back online in 5 hours or 5.5 hours for my early AM show, which I generally do every day if I can, except for the late night Saturday, Sunday mornings. Try not to do that because I kind of think I just want to rest. And Nikki Jacobs is live on that time slot anyway at the weekends generally, so people can go and spend time on her channel over there. She's got great knowledge about SSP. And she did a video recently with John Whitberg, which was very enlightening. So yeah, so that's the one morning live I just don't do because somebody else is available anyway. So that's pretty cool. So I give myself one morning off to have a lie in,
Well
I guess.
deserved.
Yeah, well deserved.